welcome to Wool Slayers Self-Isolation. This is the beginning of week 6 for me, and I'm by myself. Hopefully you will have already seen, or you will see after this, some video of Alan in her home by herself. We're going to attempt to try to give you some content, even though we're apart. So I'm Sally. You can find me on Ravelry as Sally Wren, or we have Wool Slayers Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is Sal and Al the Wool Slayers, and that is our Ravelry name as well. I'm going to just give you a little update on my life, show you what I've been working on, and go from there. So first things first, this is the first time I've put on makeup in 6 weeks, 5 weeks at least. Yeah, I haven't put on makeup since like March 13th. So that was interesting. Look a little weird. Couldn't be bothered to do my hair though, sorry. Couldn't do it. I am in my new home, which if you saw the previous video we uploaded, it was just me filling my yarn shelf that I had to buy because I have a extra room now. So, and I actually don't have an office like I had in my old house. We have a bonus room instead, which has like the desk, and that's where we keep the computer, and that's where we're doing homeschool. It's fine. It's going well. It's going okay. But I don't want to keep my yarn out there. So there's this guest room is set up really strange. I'll try to post a picture for you guys. So it has this nook. This is like a little tiny nook off the guest room. And I decided that's my knitting, that's my yarn room, yarn area. So I have this beautiful shelf, and then I have what actually is holding the computer is this, I'll have to post a picture because it's a kitchen utility cart, like for a microwave or like kind of thing. And I'm using it as my winding station. So my Swift and winder are on the top, always set up. And then it has some shelving for notions and stuff like that. So I've got a pretty good setup, especially since I do not have a huge stash. You know, I try to keep it like below 150 skeins. So this is really working out for me. And I have a chair in here. I have an ottoman. Check out my ottoman. Perfect for a knitting nook. So yeah, it's working out really well. As of right now, we do not have guest room furniture. There's no bed, there's no dresser. So for now, this is just my knitting room / Nolan sometimes plays knee hockey in here. He has these little hockey goals and these little hockey sticks, and he makes me play knee hockey with him. But so far, it's working out really well. I did forget to pull out my purchases. So let's start with fails. The fail really is just my lack of mojo. Between moving into this house, setting it up, and then just the whole COVID-19 crisis that we're experiencing, my mojo really took a hit. I'm just not, if I have free time, I spend it playing on my phone, staring into space. Or I'll show you what I've been working on, but I just haven't, I'm also baking a ton. Like I made a sourdough starter and grew that for a couple weeks. And then now I've been baking sourdough bread and sourdough pancakes and sourdough biscuits. And then I have to make apple butter from scratch to go with those. Like it's just Laura Ingalls up in here, and I'm enjoying it. I might be enjoying it a little too much, which is also, so I'm totally off of Weight Watchers, totally have gained so much weight. That's making me I have all this beautiful sweater yarn and patterns that I want to make, but I don't want to make a sweater for myself at my current size. So that's this is perfect sweater knitting time, and I just can't bring myself to do it. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I gotta just get my head around it. Finished objects. Okay, so I showed you guys the cowl that I made for Diane. The what's it called? Midtown cowl. And I had started the hat. There's my fail. My fail is that hat is not going, I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish it. And so it's not going to happen. Also a fail that there's no shows. So Diane doesn't even need her sample. So for now, I'm just keeping it and I'll send it to her in the future if she ends up needing it. But she told me to just keep it for now, and I just sent her some pictures. So the hat is my fail. I just don't have enough yarn. I had plenty of mohair. It was a single and a mohair alternating stripes, and I don't have enough of the single. So it's still like a beautiful project, and I highly recommend. I just ran out of yarn. The other finished object hold is, okay, so my chair, and I'll have to post a picture. My chair is a rocking chair, and it has steel rockers, and the ends of them are so sharp. It's just like cut off steel pipe, and all of us, every single one in my family, all four of us, at some point, like, just walked past this chair, and it like hurt our foot as we walked past. Like, it, you'll be over here trying to get like, the hockey puck, and it will like maim your foot if you even barely touch your skin to this chair. So I made protectors. It's like the dumbest but most functional thing I've ever made. No pattern. This is what I would have never done this. Not in quarantine. I would have like hot glued some felt on there and called it a day. But no, that's not good enough. And so it's like 16, it's sock weight, which I kind of wonder if I should have done it in a heavier weight. But when I think of a scrap project, I think of fingering weight. So I chose fingering weight. And I think this is Jinx yarn. I made socks out of it. And I want to say this, I might even be able to remember, it was like October Rainbow or Autumn Rainbow, something like that. And I think she's no longer dying, maybe. So whatever, but it was beautiful. And so I only got a couple of stripes actually, because it's such a small, I can't even show it. Don't look at it. So I did 16 stitches, stockinette, until it was about the size of my finger, and then I just decreased rapidly, and then just cinched it tight. I'll show you a picture of it on the chair so that you know what I'm talking about. I made 2 of these, so that's one finished. That's my only finished object. Unless you count blanket squares, because I've definitely been working on my scrap blanket. This is basically the only knitting that I have really been able to work on. So this is my Cozy Memories blanket that I've been working on for 3 years, and it got almost no love last year. I don't know that I did any squares in the year 2019. So I'm trying to make up for it during quarantine. So this has been my quarantine project. Well, I guess you're only in quarantine if you have been exposed to the virus, and I have not, that I know of. So we're in isolation, but I just find it easier to say quarantine. So don't at me, okay? Don't come for me. So I, during this isolation period, have done several squares. I've done at least all of these on this top row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least those 8. And then I did this row and up until, gosh, oh my gosh, you guys, I did way more than I thought. I think oh, look, this is the same yarn that I did the chair cover out of. That's like the other stripes in it. So I want to say the first square that I did in isolation is this one. So I have done a lot, 20 squares or so. That is awesome considering I did maybe one square in all of 2019. So I'm working on this. Let me try to show you the whole thing. Ready? Okay. Okay, wait. So this is the corner that I started in. This right here is where I started. So that's how tall it is, top to bottom, and then side to side. So it is, oh, my wingspan. That's exciting. I didn't know. And then it's about, what, 2.5 feet tall? 2 feet tall? Oh my gosh. So that's really fun. I need to determine my width that I want and then just start going up. And then, like, it's not going to be like a twin size or anything like that. I don't think. It's just going to be like a nice couch, like a one-person couch blanket. And then I have about 2 rows of ends that I need to weave in. So that's not too bad. It's just those top 2 rows. So I need to do those. Maybe I'll finish this row that I'm working on. Then I'll stop and I'll have 2 full rows that need the ends woven in. And so I'll do that before I start the other, start building on it. But this has been very comforting for me. It's easy. I don't have to look at a pattern. It's fun to dig through scraps. I actually did a big revamp of my scrap basket and it was like, took out the ones that I'm constantly like bypassing. I'm never going to use them. If I won't even put them in a blanket square, give them away, get rid of them. So Alan's getting a big bag of scraps. And then a lot of them, oh, I also took out, I had put anything that was a leftover in my scrap basket. So there were some skeins that were like 75 grams. That's not a scrap. So I used them in the blanket or just decided not to. And I actually re-hanged them and put them back in my stash. So actually I might have more than 150 skeins right now, but not all of them are full skeins. So like this was one, for example, this was my salted caramel that I had started a project on and then decided not to continue. My Zaria shawl. So I don't think this is a full skein because I actually lost a bit of yardage in that project. It was, it had been cut several times for that project. So I just put those in my scrap basket, those little balls, and re-skeined the big part. And now I have this back in my stash. And so it can actually be used for something useful. So I did that. I did several, probably 15 skeins. So that was fun. The way I do it, I don't think I want a nitty knotty. They're very cool. For me, it's not quick enough. So I attach mine to my Swift. Like I tie a little easy to come out, not really a knot, but like just like a slip kind of knot. And I attach it to my Swift. And then I have an umbrella Swift. So I open it up to the size that I want. And then I spin. And so it's taking it from a cake and it's putting it back on the Swift. I just spin. And it's super fast. I feel like if I was doing a nitty knotty, like I'm just too lazy, flat out. So I did that. And then you just take it, you tie it and take it off. That's basically the exact reverse for caking up a ball of yarn. And then I tie it and then I take it off the Swift and I twist it up into a hank. So it worked out really well for me. And that was a nice like afternoon of playing with my yarn when I didn't feel like knitting, but I just enjoy being in here. I find it very peaceful and comforting, even though I'm not taking comfort from the act of knitting right now. I did take a lot of comfort out of this though, and I'm still working on it. So self-isolation might be the best thing that ever happened to my scrap blanket. The only other knitting I have done is I did cast on and start the second of my cascarones socks. And so it's a little baby, but I'm trying, you guys, I'm trying. So if you'll remember, it's this one, this colorway from Mustache, cascarones. And so I'm just trying to get my second tube done, and then I have a pair of socks. So once I get past the ribbing, I feel like I will pick this up more than my scrap blanket until it's done, and then back to scrap blanket. I do really want to work on I want to bring back an oldie that I had started. So my goal to myself is to at least knit a few rows on this. It's the Loop shawl by Casapinka. And I had started it and then didn't touch it. So I need to pick it up because otherwise I will just end up frogging it and never finishing it. And I really actually want this project. So that is all of my knitting. I'm going to show you another craft that has kind of piqued my interest. I started diamond painting. It's basically gemstones that it's paint by numbers except with gemstones. Look at how pretty this is. It's so sparkly. This was my first one, and it doesn't have gemstones right here. So if you're interested in these and you're looking, this would be a partial drill. Drill is like the sticky part, I think. I think partial drill means that like there's some of it that is printed background and you're not going to put gemstones on it. I'll show you a full drill if I have the terminology correct. I believe that's what this is. This is the one I'm working on right now, and it's actually for Nolan. It's a picture of a little doggy. So it's a dog. Isn't it cute? And so you can see like I've done all this red and I've put a few on him, and I've done this yellow. But you can see I still have a lot of ways to go. And so this one, there is a sticky part for gemstones on the entire printed background. It's all going to be covered with the stones. So I believe that's why it's called a full drill. If you know that I'm not doing it right, please let me know. And so you have all of your gemstones, and I have these labeled based off of what number they are. And then you just go and you just boop. It's super mindless. It's lovely. I ordered this one from Amazon. And there's the first one was from Amazon as well. And there's also, I have some coming to me in the mail from like paintingwithdiamonds.com or something like that. So that has taken a little bit of what normally would have been my knitting time, but I just can't seem to focus to knit, and this requires no focus. All right, I'm gonna pause and I'll be back with you in just a minute with my trophies. Okay, so I did want to show you what I bought. As you know, Fiberfest did get canceled along with every other event that's supposed to happen in the month of the second half of March, anything in April, most things in May, and we'll see if anything happens past that. So also, if you follow us on Instagram, you saw that we did have to cancel Camp Wool Slayers. That was supposed to happen in mid-May. Devastating, but it was the right decision. I mean, there is no way that we could have, it's not going, it wouldn't have happened. So we had to cancel so that we could get our deposit back, and so that we could let people know, you know, obviously. And this was, I think we canceled 2 or 3 weeks ago when we still didn't even know that schools were canceled for the rest of the year and that sort of thing. So yes, my kids will not be going back to school until August. Fingers crossed that actually happens. So we made the decision before it was super obvious that we were going to have to, but yeah, definitely had to cancel camp. So sad. Right now, it would be done, right? So today's April 20th, and so May 20th camp would have been already over. So I'm so sad because I look forward to it so much, and but it was the right decision. So, and everybody, y'all know, you know, it was the right decision. But and so DFW Fiberfest obviously was one of the first things to get canceled. Well, they held on for a week or so after all the schools got canceled, and did have to call it. But oh, almost dropped it. So in lieu of Fiberfest, on that Saturday of what would have been Fiberfest, Mustache had an Instagram live session, and she showed off all the beautiful yarn she would have brought to DFW Fiberfest, and then right after that was over, she uploaded everything to her online shop. So I watched that and was like messaging with friends, and we were all like, "Oh, I love that one. I'm gonna get that one." And then we all ran and tried to beat each other out for for the yarn. I think we all got what we wanted. And mine came in. So first, I did get another Ready Player One. I had said I wasn't going to when I messed up my socks, and they ended up too big, and now they're my husband's, but I couldn't resist. It's just so pretty. So I did get another Ready Player One. I'm sorry about the color. I'm sorry. It's not the best lighting in here. I think it's the time of day, so you know what it looks like. Ready Player One. If it doesn't show up very good, I'll put a picture in. I'm gonna have to learn how to edit. Okay. This one is called, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with this yarn. The minute she showed it on the Instagram, I said, I have to get that one or I'm gonna be so upset. Tokyo Go-Go, and it is a navy blue background with rainbow stripes, but not true. It's like there's some teal stripes and pink, and those aren't in a rainbow. There's lime green, that's not in a rainbow, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not doing it justice. It is so gorgeous. And then, oh my gosh, this one in person is even prettier than so Fiberfest, it was supposed to be the 15th year, so everyone had done like quinceañera, which is the Mexican tradition of your 15th birthday. You get a huge blowout for your 15th birthday in the Hispanic culture. I think most Hispanic cultures. And it's called your quinceañera. And a lot of vendors had amazing quinceañera themed yarn. And oh my gosh, this one is just the brightest rainbow. It's not a rainbow. You know what I mean. It's just, and there's a speckle stripe in there, and I have to post a picture because the lighting is not doing it justice. It's just so pretty and vibrant and fun. Yeah, so definitely check out Mustache. She was going to be a vendor at camp, so it's extra sad that I didn't get to see her and won't see her in May either. And then, so let's see. I also, of course, had to order from Suburban Stitcher. She didn't do it like the day of what would have been Fiberfest, but I counted this as, and let's be real, I bought way less than I would have if I would have been standing in her booth. So that was really disappointing, but I'm happy with what I got. So I got 3 skeins of her Merino DK on eggplant, rouge. Again, I'll post a picture. And then her 15-year quinceañera yarn. It's just called quinceañera. It's gorgeous. It's a pink, pale pink with darker pinks and gray blips. It's very much me. I went to put it in my stash and was like, oh, okay, cool. So this looks like every other skein of yarn I own. Great. I'm not even mad about it. Sorry, not sorry. And then the last yarn purchase I made is from Miss Babs, who was supposed to be at DFW. And so I bought her DFW 2020 colorway as well, which is what she calls it. She calls it DFW Fiberfest 2020. And again, it's a beautiful pale pink with raspberries And there's even like a cobalt, tiny cobalt speckle. It's just gorgeous. And I know you can't tell from this. So I will definitely post a picture of all of these for you guys. One more trophy to show you. So I ordered on Etsy. I've really been wanting to try this anyway, and then the self-isolation really made me want to try it. I bought from Moss Points North a macrame kit. So here we go. And look at this packaging. It's so cute. Wall hanging kit. And I got a color. So it comes really cute package. This would make a great gift. Moss Points North. It looks like you can order on Etsy or mosspointsnorth.store. Okay. And the kit comes with instructions, and I'll show you. And I've never done macrame, so drop any tips below if you have any. But here's my color. It's like a, it's like a steel blue. It's a steel blue color. And then you get the ring to put it on. So yeah, I think that's going to be exciting. A new skill to learn, and it's still kind of yarny. And then I got I think I got this for free. It's a keychain, which is very cute. It's like a taupey brown color. And I don't have to make it myself. And then what's this? Oh, I got another one. Look how cute that is. That's like a helix-y one. Oh, that's really cute. And I didn't have to make it. I would love to learn how to make that. I love that. And this is like a brick red. Cool. I don't think I bought either one of these, but maybe I did just to get free shipping. I don't think I did though. Maybe I bought one of them and one of them was free. I think that's what happened. So yeah, I knew I was getting it in the mail today, so I wanted to show that really quick because I don't know when we're gonna record again. Hopefully, oh, and look, I think there's a tool that I got. Hold on. Oh, what is this? Oh, so it's like a, yes. So I'm gonna jump into that. Again, if you have any tips, please let me know, because I don't know the first thing about macrame. So it says I got the rope, the ring, and a hanging hook. So yeah, illustrated pattern and step-by-step instructions and a macrame knot how-to guide. So apparently self-isolation to me means learning new skills like sourdough and macrame. I really would love to learn how to make like a plant hanger, but I kind of need the craft stores to open back up so I can get more of the ropey yarn, because I don't have anything like that. So anyway, so yeah, that's it. Other than organizing my stash, playing around with the configuration of, and building the shelf and building the cart that's my winding station and that sort of thing. I'm not doing a ton of knitting, but I am being crafty in other ways, like with baking and with diamond painting and with like my kids. We did the whole mosaic chalk art on the sidewalk that everyone was doing, and but yeah, I have the time to knit. Unfortunately, I don't have the bandwidth. I'm hoping to cast on a new project that will maybe light a fire. I want to show you, I'll post a picture, but I want to get the name right. So my gorgeous and talented friend, Susie White of the Prairie Girls Knit and Spin podcast, released her newest design, and it's a beautiful rectangle shawl called Wherever I Wander. It's a 3-color fingering weight shawl. It is gorgeous. It has stripes. It has lace. It has texture. It's perfection. You guys have to see it. I'm really confident in my editing skills. Like, oh, I'll just post a picture. Y'all are gonna be lucky if you even see this. Alan, I need you and I miss you and I love you. Oh, speaking of friends, we have been doing Zoom meetings. Stay tuned to our social media, especially Instagram, because we will be announcing Zoom meetings with Wool Slayers that you can pop into. And, we have room for up to 100 people. So we did one so far and it was really fun. So we're hoping to do one of those again soon. And so stay tuned to the social media, especially Instagram, which is at Wool Slayers Podcast. That's where I've been posting the meeting time and link for that. If you haven't done a Zoom yet, which most people have, it's really fun and it's very user friendly. And we will put in a password so that we won't have any of those. What do they call them? Zoom. I can't remember what they were called, but like crashers, Zoom crashers that were coming in, and like if you put a password on your meeting, you won't have that problem. So we will have that. So it should be safe. It should be fun. I think we're going to do an afternoon, which that's when Alan and I find that we have the most downtime, and would love to get a little face-to-face action with some of our Wool Slayers. So I think that is it for now. I am going to pop in and show you my one additional trophy, and then it'll be either Alan's turn or I'm at the end. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm just rambling now, but I miss you. I miss podcasting and I miss interacting with everyone. So please comment below and tell us how you're doing. Don't forget to slay.
Hey y'all, so this is Alan, and you just watched Sally. Hopefully we can get this to work. So if you're watching this, then we got it to work. We finally gave in and we're like, we have to do something. And so neither one of us likes the Skype where it's like split screen, and we don't enjoy watching those. So both my mother and then Erin, the famous Erin, recommended doing it this way. So because my mom had seen the Knitters League do it, and because that's 4 ladies, and she said it was fine. Like it was what she wanted from a knitting podcast. So anyway, let me get down to it. I'm Alan, and you can find me on Ravelry as Alan Loves Yarn. And so I normally start with fails, or Sally and I normally start with fails. But first let me say, like, I hope everybody's doing okay. We are actually surviving pretty well. I haven't been going stir crazy. I miss seeing friends, but I also feel like I've caught up with a lot of friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. Just because like Zoom meetings are great, and so I have different groups of friends. Like I have a group of friends from when I lived in Chicago, and we had a Zoom meeting this past weekend, and there's knitting friends that we have Zoom meetings, and my book club still does Zoom meetings, and a group of moms from the neighborhood that we have all known each other since our kids were little. We do Zoom meetings, so I don't know, in some ways I feel like, yes, I miss seeing people, but then also on the other hand, I feel like I've seen a lot of people. And homeschooling is going fine for us. My kids are of the age where they can be a little autonomous about their schoolwork. So, because they're in 4th and 6th grade. The first couple of days were, this is now like 4 weeks ago, but the first 2 days before we had assignments, like after we got back from spring break, they canceled school after that. So the first 2 days we didn't have any schoolwork. And it was kind of like I was trying to do like our normal weekend rules, like you only get an hour and a half of screen time, and you need to find other things to do. But then we got some school assignments on Wednesday. Not really, not much. But what I realized was we needed well, actually, I didn't realize it. I had a Zoom meeting with my mom group here in the neighborhood, and on Tuesday night, and we shared all the ideas and all the things that people are doing. And so I kind of pieced together, based on what other people were doing, what would work for us. And what works for us, I knew that having a time schedule would not work. My boys would rebel in a heartbeat. They need to be able to choose what they're doing at times during the day. But what I did was I created a checklist, and it was the original checklist had 11 items on it, and it had 30 minutes of math, and here's some ideas of what you could do. But they got to decide what they did for the math time. Family contribution, here's a list of things to choose from. I do Love and Logic, I raise them with Love and Logic, so they're used to having lots of choices in their life. So anyway, they and then once they got the checklist done, they could do whatever they wanted. They could be on screens for 15 hours if they wanted, and so it took them about 4 or 5 hours to go through the checklist, and it was a mix of action, being active, a mix of brain work, a mix of creativity, a mix of helping around the house. So I felt good about what they were getting accomplished. So then once they had finished accomplishing that, I felt good about them having as much screens as they wanted. And Cade, my youngest, he's such an extrovert, and he was really missing his friends. And so what he does is he gets up at 6:30 in the morning. If he doesn't go to bed too late. If he goes to bed too late, I won't let him set an alarm. But he wants to get up at 6:30 in the morning and power through his list so that he can get on FaceTime with his friends and play video games through FaceTime with his friends. And it's great. It's really good for him that he gets to FaceTime with his friends. So anyway, we're surviving. And, my 6th grader, he had a lot more schoolwork to be, before the 4th grader. So Zane, it took him a couple of days to kind of figure out, I do need to do these WebEx meetings with school, the class instruction, I guess. But he's on top of it, and I'm really proud of him for it. And so it makes it easier for me. They come check in with me every now and then, but I get to get some work done. And we interact during the day, and we're having fun, and I'm not yelling at them to get their work done, and they get all the screens they want after they finish. So that's what we're doing. If anybody wants my checklist, I'm happy to send it. It has evolved as school has evolved. And, just that's how we've done it. The other thing is a friend of mine put together 14 pages of kind of table topics, but there's a lot of riddles, there's fun facts, there's table manners, there's just little snippets. And so I cut them all in strips. So we must have had at least 100 strips, and I put them in a container on the table, so they're table topics when we were eating our meals. It was great. It kept us at the table longer than we normally would have, and we would take turns pulling strips and reading the riddles and testing each other. It was so much fun. So I'm happy to send that also if anybody wants that. And she just sent me charades. So I'm curious to try that out with the boys, because I don't think we've ever really played charades. So we're going to try that. And that was 5 pages of charade topics. So we'll see. But I highly recommend the table topic things, because your day never changes. So what else? And nobody's going anywhere. There's kind of nothing to talk about. So anyway, that's the non-knitting stuff. Okay, on to the knitting. So hopefully, if you didn't care about that, you fast forwarded, which I don't mind. So fails. No fails. No fails at all, which is incredible. But I do have some slays. Yay, slays. Okay, so I have 2 slays. If you remember from last time, it's been a while. I had to really think about it. I was working on my Spelta shawl, and I have finished it, but I didn't know what to do about the tassels. I couldn't make a decision about the tassels. So I don't have the tassels finished, and I don't have it blocked. And since Sally and I decided yesterday that we were going to do this, I didn't have the time to get it finished. So I will show that as a sleigh next time. But I do have 2 other sleighs. I have the Nanu shawl by Casa Pinka. And I started this right as we went on quarantine. I think I started it at the end of our spring break, and then we went on quarantine. So it starts down here. It's a DK weight shawl, and it uses 8 contrast colors and then a background color. And I'll talk about those in a minute. So you do this lovely stitch, and all this is knit 1, purl 1 on 1 row, and then you go back. I mean, this is not a complicated texture at all. And then you just space out those stripes. So now the stripes get bigger. And then you do this texture here. And again, it's all knits and purls. There's no lace, like just so easy. And then you do the stripes, and I just love these colors. They're so fun. And then going up, and then you finish with this little seed stitch border. And it is so squishy. So the pattern calls for sport. So my jumping off point for an inspiration for the shawl was I bought these unicorn tails. It's a set of 5, and they are DK, and they are from Madeline Tosh. When Madeline Tosh went, when they closed their brick and mortar store, I bought 2 sets of these. And I was like, I want to use these in something. I love the colors together, like just so wonderful. So I looked for a shawl, and I found the Nanu shawl. So I knew I had DK, but Nanu called for sport. Not that big of a difference. It's a shawl, whatever. I'll just use DK. So then I needed to find a contrast color, the main color. So enter Suburban Stitcher. Seriously, I don't think we've done a single episode without talking about Suburban Stitcher yarn or just Suburban Stitcher in general. It's incredible. She does have really great yarn. Okay, so this is Cinder from Suburban Stitcher, and this is what I have left of my second skein, and I've already reskeined it using my Nitty Knotty, and it's just a really great gray with black speckles. And so I wanted it to kind of, because these are crazy colors, and I wanted something to kind of tone it down so it wouldn't be so crazy. Well, I paired those up so long ago that I forgot that I needed 8 colors. Well, I've got a stash. So my mom helped me with picking out the rest of the colors. This blue I bought during Yarn Crawl. The only store I went to was 7th Wool. It had the Madeline Tosh trunk show. This is the work sock, and it is a sport weight. So I mixed DK and sport. And then this is the navy, and this is a mystery yarn I bought from Echo View Fiber Mill when we were there in North Carolina. And it just was the right color and seemed to be close to the right size. It might be a sport, it might be a DK, I have no idea, because it was in their sale bin. It was like a mill end, you know, but it was the right color, so it worked. And then the green, I forgot to bring it down, but those of you that have watched for a really long time, the green was my yarn that I pulled out of the sweater that got a bunch of holes in it that I have all the little dinosaur eggs of. Well, it's a light fingering. So what I did was I held 3 strands together. And you can't even tell that it's 3 strands held together. It blends right in very well. I will say it's probably closer to a worsted than a DK, but if I had done 2 strands, it would have been too thin. It might have been a sport, but it just seemed too thin when I did 2. But that just goes to show you, worsted, DK, sport, who knows? So mix it up, it's fine. You can tell, like when I run my fingers along these, you can tell that the green has a little bit more thickness, but that's it. And you can't tell it when you're wearing it. So mix it up, people, mix it up. I used, the unicorn tails come in yardage, they don't come in grams, and so I weighed it, but they all weighed a little bit different. So so this is what I had left of each, essentially. So I've still got, it's about 5 grams of each, a little bit of yardage. I didn't play yarn chicken at all for any of it. So let me put it on. Oh my God, the weaving of the ends. So many ends to weave in, because each stripe, they were far enough apart that you couldn't carry it up. So I did weave in as I went, just because the ends were getting in the way and I didn't want them to pull out, that kind of thing. So, oh, and I see I missed trimming one when I took it off the blocking boards. Oh, it's the first time I've put it on. I haven't put it on yet. Oh, I love the colors. That is so fun. Oh my goodness. I kind of want to tie the tails because it's really long. Like I've still got a really long tail over here. I need Sally. I need Sally to style it for me. Maybe like that. Oh, I just love the colors, and I love how it like rainbows around itself. You know, like rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. Oh, I love it. Love, love, love it. Okay. It's so weird to rave about something and not have somebody else here to rave about it too. So anyway, Nanu shawl, and I love it. Oh, it feels so good. The drape is great. I did, because it was a DK, I did go up one needle size. It called for a 6, I went to a 7. And the way I figured out what size needle to use was I had just finished the Rose That Grows from Concrete, and that was a DK weight shawl, and I really liked the fabric of that. So I knew, and it was Suburban Stitcher yarn also, so I knew, like, let me just use the same needle as that shawl. And I'm glad I did, because it's great. So I'm gonna take a breath, because normally Sally would start talking now. Okay, the second thing I've slayed is also a trophy, because I bought yarn for it. I remotely bought yarn for it. I wanted to support our local yarn store, West 7th Wool, and because they've been a great supporter of the podcast and in our retreat, and they're just so nice and wonderful. So I called because I knew I wanted yarn for the Love and Hearts hat by Susan B. Anderson, and I didn't want to buy Barrett Wilco because I would need 3 different skeins. It would have been like $70, and I only needed very little. Like, you can barely tell that I've even been in this. If they had a kit for it, I probably would have bought the kit. But, and I know I'd have leftovers and all that, but it's a gift for somebody. So, so I made the Love and Hearts hat, and it is so, so cute. I mean, so stinking cute. I just love it. I can't put it on because it's a baby hat. I made the 6 to 24 month size. My brother is having a baby, and it's his first child, and they're moving to Dallas. Yay! So just in time to have the baby. So Dallas in July does not need a hat at all. So so I made it to be big enough for winter, and hopefully it's not too big, but you know, and it's a little girl. So so first granddaughter for my parents, but or for my dad. And anyway, so cute. I had the hardest time with this little heart on top, and it does not look like Susan's. Hers is way cuter. She also has a lot of practice making fiddly things because of all her toy stuff. But let me tell you about West 7th Wool. They were so great. I talked to Hunter because he happened to be, he was going in the store for certain periods so that he could ship out orders, and they were working on their website and that kind of thing, because you couldn't go to the store. So I called when he was going to be there, and he pulled up the pattern on Ravelry, and we just talked about what yarns they had in stock, and they had these, and I pulled up the color cards on Cascade's website and was like, okay, that works, send them on. I ordered a couple other things to get free shipping. You know, spend more to save. So this is Cascade 220 Superwash, and it really is a great workhorse yarn if, you know, like for baby stuff, because the parents don't have to worry too much. There's no bleeding, like it's commercially set. So I've used it in several things, and I really like it. Okay, those are my sleighs. I do have some trophies. Oh, whips. What am I working on right now? Oh, I picked up my Terrell-Dago again. I should go get that. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I have one other sleigh that's also not blocked yet. It's a hat, so I'll show the Speltus and the hat next time, because there will be a next time. I forced myself to pick up my Terrell-Dago again and start working on the lace. So I've got more of the lace finished, and it really is gorgeous, and I'm glad I picked it back up. I was kind of dreading the lace, but it's with all the stitch markers, it really, like, you immediately know if you've made a mistake, and so I can actually do it while I'm watching something else. Like my mom and I watched Phantom of the Opera together. We didn't really, because she's in Houston, but we started it at the same time and then hung up, and we talked at intermission and after the show, pretending we went to see the show together because you wouldn't talk during the show, right? So so I knit most of this during that, and that was good. So I'm 27 rows in on 90 rows of lace, but I feel like, okay, I can do this. I don't have to be isolated and focused. I can do it. And then the other thing I don't like, so the other thing I'm working on is my sock tube cowl. And I realized, like, so I did some shopping on Mustache, and I realized that this pattern is her, like, I thought I just kind of cobbled it together from different things I'd seen, and I guess I have, but Stacy from Mustache did a Star Wars one like this, where you use just her Star Wars colorways, and it's almost exactly the same, except for the the slip one, knit one technique that I'm using between the colors. Otherwise, it's the same. So I'm going to give her all the credit. But I've made a lot of progress on it. And I don't like to work on it at home because it's such a good portable project and it's such a good conversation project. But right now it's also my only dark knitting project. So I will cast on another dark knitting project pretty soon. One that is not as portable, probably a shawl or something. This one's just so perfect. I'm almost out of yarn from what I have, but Sally said that she's been, and maybe you just saw it, she's been working on her scrap blanket so much that she has a ton of scraps for me to use in this. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'm also working on my crochet blanket. This is a good one for when I'm on Zoom meetings. But I guess this is a fail. I should have talked about this in the fail section. So when they're being zipped together, this is the right side. See how there's a nice little line that goes down? Well, this is the wrong side. There is not a line. The last strip I put on, I got the whole thing put on and I realized I did it upside down. So I pulled the whole thing out and I haven't picked it back up. That was like a week ago. I will pick it back up. I would love to have this finished by the end of quarantine. So I'm gonna work on that. Those are my whips. And I don't know what I'm gonna cast on next for my dark knitting, but I've got a queue. I have a long queue. I can do that. Okay, so trophies. Okay, we had to cancel camp, which really, really sucked, and totally the right thing to do, obviously. And we kept waiting, like maybe we'll be open to pack up by then, maybe we'll be able to go out by then. There's no way. So in order to support our wonderful vendors, I did some shopping online, which is really, really hard for me. Unless I know your yarn already, I want to be able to see all the nuances in the colors. So I shopped by the Bay Bag Company, and I bought a new extra large, or I guess she calls it giant, bag. It is at the Monogrammers, and don't worry, I put it on my front porch, and she came and picked it up because she lives in my neighborhood, and so it was super easy, and we've been texting about what it looked, what design to put on it, and I'm very excited to get it back. So maybe I'll have that to show next time. So then I shopped Mustache, and one of the things that I love about shopping her booth at DFW Fiber Fest is that she has the mini skeins, like the mill ends, or it's not really mill ends, but it's the last part of her dye process that doesn't, like, she winds off a full skein and then she has just little bits left. And I love them because I don't make socks with it. So like I make my no-show socks, but those take like 40 grams. Yeah, and so I don't need a full skein. So I purchased, she had mini skeins on her, or not minis, they're leftovers. What does she call them? She didn't call them anything. I don't know what she calls them. Anyway, so I kind of went crazy with the minis. I bought Ready Player One. I bought 4 of them. Oh, maybe that's what I should cast on next. I'm gonna make a checkerboard cat out of this. It takes like 50 grams. So I've got one that's 36, one that's 34, one that's 44, and one that's 44. So 2 that are 44. So I'll probably just do the 44 and then add some from another skein. Just, match up where the color is. And I think this will be so cool as a checkerboard cat, and I've been wanting to make that hat for so long. Then Queen of Soul, and this is her homage to Aretha Franklin, and it's just so pretty with the pinks and the browns, and just loved it. So I don't know what I'm gonna make. I have 34 grams and 36 grams. So I've got about 70 grams. It's pretty good. I can make something out of it. Maybe I'll make some mitts or something, because each one, I don't know. It's just so pretty. Okay. Oh, wait, no, I have a third one. So I've got almost 100 grams. I've got 32, 34, and 36. Yeah, so I've got a little over 100 grams. I've got 102 grams. It's like, who knows what I'll make. They're just so pretty. I might just have them sit around and be pretty. And then I got some more woodstock, which I've just loved in the past. I made a sock out of it, a no-show sock, and it's just a beautiful little rainbow with some purples. I just love it. So it was what was available. She pretty much could just say, "Hey, Alan, do you want to buy all my Miltons?" And be like, "Yes, please." So that's what I got. Panorama Fiber Arts, her shop was closed because they adopted a couple of kids, they brought them in as foster children, and so she, I think that's right. So she closed her shop for a little bit so she could focus on her family. And then Wonderluck Yarns, I just don't know her yarns well enough yet to buy them online, because I just need to touch and feel. I have a child dancing past me. I need to touch and feel and turn it over and look at it in all the angles and lights. So I very much look forward to seeing her again and getting to buy from her shop in person. So those are my trophies. I will tell y'all, Texas Yarn Lovers event was supposed to be last weekend, I think, and it is put on by Blue Mule Fiber. Blue Mule, yeah, I think Blue Mule Fiber. And my mom went last year in person and had so much fun. And so what they've done is they have all their vendors are doing Instagram Live events this week. So you can look it up as if you go to Instagram or even to the website, Texas Yarn Lovers Event, and they'll have the schedule of when everybody's doing stuff. And my mom and I have been doing it. Like, we're on the phone and we're watching the Instagram at the same time. So it's like we're getting to go to a festival together and just see. She did buy some yarn from one of the vendors, but it's fun to see. It's just fun to see yarn. Again, it's hard for me to buy online, so I haven't been tempted to buy anything, but you never know, it might be coming. Oh, Weeby Freebies! I can still do Weeby Freebies. Do you need me, baby?
Throw this away. Do you need that?
No, can you put it with the other tissue, please? So cute. Okay, Weeby Freebies. So, I actually put these together a while ago. My mom and I tried to record a podcast while we were on spring break, and it was so windy and shaky, and it just didn't turn out well. So I put these together for that, and at the time it was that I wanted beachy, relaxing, spring break stuff. Well, it still kind of fits because we all need some relaxing knitting right now. So the first is the Social Knitter Shawl. And it was designed so that you could knit it socially, and I think it wins. A Group of 8 mystery. It's not a mystery anymore because it's finished, but it's lots of fun texture. The Laurel Shawl. I love the lace pattern on the ends of this, but the main part is stockinette with some garter riches. The Jetstream Shawl. Just simple eyelet rows and garter, but I love the way they did the striping, and it would just be a really great 2-color shawl. And then Communication Breakdown. I don't know what made this one come up in my search, but I love some color work. So not as much as Sally. Sally loves the color work, but this one it's 2 colors, and I think it would be lots of fun. So that's what I have for Weeby Freebies. And I just hope everybody's doing great, and we'll hopefully get to see everybody soon. And hopefully Sally and I will be together next time. I don't think we will be. We'll probably do this a couple more times before we get to be together. Anyway, bye. Don't forget to slay.